What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, or welcome if you are new. JG here. Today's topic is going to be pretty interesting and pretty important. I have actually done several videos in the past on this channel talking about this topic, and part of the reason why I wanted to share this video with you guys is because it's something that I continue to see. It's something that has not changed throughout the last couple of years, and it's something that could potentially get worse in the future. Now, what I'm going to be showing you guys throughout this video are specific locations throughout Los Angeles where the homeless people have gone out to be. A lot of these locations can be shocking to some people, especially if you're not from LA or live in California. You know, this is pretty much the other side of the coin, right? The dark side of Los Angeles, if you want to call it that. As we go through these clips that I have recorded, I will be telling you guys where I'm at, what's going on within the clip, and of course, I'll let you guys be the judges of the situation. But anyways, on to our first clip and location. Alright, so this is passing the Santa Monica Freeway 10. Thousands and thousands of people pass through this freeway every day. This is specifically on the Western Street or Western Stop. And as you guys can see, they have stayed in front of this business type of location. It's like a tow place where they tow cars and vehicles. Now on to the next one. This is passing the LA Freeway South 110, and this is more of a scarier sight, and by scarier I kind of mean unsafe in a way. You guys can see there's a little bit more graffiti on this one, but again, there's homeless by the freeway. You definitely don't want to pass here walking at night. You can find yourself in big trouble. And this is another look at it from the other side. I did record multiple clips from like different angles just so you guys can get a better idea on how it looks and the world that we are living in today in Los Angeles. Alright, so this is where it can get shocking to a lot of you guys. Right on the other side of this freeway is the Los Angeles Convention Center. If you're from LA, you know that they do countless events here every year. And right a few steps from this convention center are homeless underneath the freeways. And mind you that a lot of people pass here every single day because this is almost like a neighborhood as well. Before going underneath this freeway, there are houses, apartments that people actually live in. That's where you guys see cars as well passing on the other side. Again, this is like another retake or shot that I did for you guys so you guys can see. Just like almost the other freeway, there's a lot of graffiti here. And in this one, I just kept recording so you guys can see that there's also the Crypto Arena, formerly known as the Staples Center, but now they call it the Crypto Arena. Again, less than a mile away if you walk it. The Convention Center and the Crypto Arena are right next to each other, and there are homeless people living next to them. And it's a weird sight to see because, again, these are places where the Lakers play against other like basketball teams, and people from different parts of the world come to see them play. And next to it, we have the situation where people are living on sidewalks in one of the richest cities in the world. LA, if you didn't know, is on the top 10 most richest cities on the planet. On to the next clip. So here we find ourselves on Main Street in downtown LA. This, you can say, is the most dark side of LA, simply because this is where you're gonna find the most homeless people in the city. Now, one thing that I want you guys to keep in mind is, if you notice, there's not a lot of homeless people outside on the roads or on the sidewalks in this particular time and setting. Because of the time that I did record this video, it was a bit chilly outside and cold, even though the sun is out. A lot of these homeless people prefer to stay inside of their tents. However though, during the summertime, it is nearly impossible to drive on these specific streets, mainly because all the homeless people come out of their tents. It is too hot for them to be inside. But just a little side note, this is why LA is expensive to live in. The weather here is pretty much perfect. We have summer, rain, chilly days, hot weather. You know, this is almost a perfect city to live in if we're just talking weather-wise. And you guys can see here, there are even homeless people on wheelchairs, which is sad to see, of course. So this clip right here is technically one block down from the main street, and as you can see here, the site is pretty much technically the same, living in front of these abandoned buildings, abandoned apartments or businesses that used to be there. It's a pretty scary sight to see. Alright, so what I want to explain what's happening on the other side of the street. This is 6th Street specifically. What's happening here are people donating clothes to the homeless, which is fantastic because in a lot of cases, other people kind of prefer to donate their clothes to other companies like Goodwill, which pretty much the company will benefit from. Of course, they take it and then they'll sell it for cheaper, but they still make a profit out of it, you know, regardless of it. But in this case, it is great to see it because these are people who actually cannot afford it and actually need the clothes. But here we can see one of them walking with the clothes that they were given. We're pretty much in a cold season still in LA. You know, they need extra clothes, hoodies, sweaters to actually stay warm through the night. Now this is another shocking sight to see. This is right next to the Los Angeles City Hall. And if you know, this is where everything goes down, right? This is where they make new law decisions. Everything that we do as a city, they control and have control over it. And as you guys can see, we actually passed by a homeless person there. And there still are quite a few right next to the City Hall. About 2 to 3 years ago, there were far more homeless people living next to it or next to this specific City Hall building. Again, the homeless people just basically wanted to send a message out to the people that work in these offices, but I guess law enforcement had no other choice but to kind of remove a lot of them away from there, simply because they wanted to keep a lot of their workers safe. But not just that, but there are other big facilities and big organizations here, such as the LAPD headquarters, city banks, etc. And this shot right here is pretty ironic to me. We have this like little office type of place. It says homeless desk help, no wrong door. It is completely closed though. And right next to it, we have a homeless person sleeping there. It just goes to show that nothing is really being done about this situation. And imagine other people that come to LA and visit from other states, from other countries, and seeing a site like this. It's pretty crazy. It's a really sad topic and situation because if you really sit down and think about it, these are people who actually had a living before. People that had great homes, apartments, a well-paying job, families, so on and so forth. And at the end, they pretty much lost everything, right? Whether that was due to drugs or, if I'm being honest, just simply state or city laws. And I understand that in a lot of the cases, these are hard people to work with, especially due to their mental state. But at the end of the day, if we're being honest, everybody could be helped. All right, here we go. Again, this could be another shocking clip to people who don't live in LA or California. And this right here is inside a neighborhood in Hollywood. We have LA Fitness that's right there. Right next to it, we have a lot of homeless people. You can also most likely Google map this. If you put LA Fitness near Hollywood Boulevard in LA, a lot of these images would possibly show up there. And again, a lot of graffiti here, a lot of homeless people living next to these pretty much out of business places. You know, being that rent is tremendously high here, a lot of companies and businesses go out, and that's kind of where the homeless people target to live in. And again, this is in Hollywood Boulevard, so you can see the stars out on the floor. The Funko Pop store right across from it, and again, homeless people on the other side. And in this store specifically, Funko Pop, countless people go there every year from all over the world. And again, for them to see that other side of the street where homeless people are living in, what will possibly run down their minds, you know? This is another shot. Again, I technically retook that shot just for you guys to see the name of the street, Hollywood Boulevard. There's a lot of tour buses here. This is almost like a must visit. If you're coming from a different country or state, this place right here is technically a must visit for a lot of people. There's the Hollywood Wax Museum. I actually did a video there. It was like one of my first videos that I did here on the channel. We have TMZ. A lot of people know that channel. Again, this is where all the stars are at. Thousands and hundreds of people come here every day. Doesn't matter if it's during the weekend or weekday, there's always people here. And when there's specific events, it is nearly impossible to walk here. And one very important thing that I do want to mention, throughout this specific sidewalk where all the stars are at, you won't really see a lot of homeless people. You will see a few just walking around in between, but not that they're staying there. And the reason I say that is because there's a lot of businesses, theaters, gift shops, just running their own thing. And that's kind of like the whole purpose of Hollywood, is like the photos, right? You go to Hollywood, you want to take pictures, you want to take home a good memory. By doing so, you know, you kind of don't want homeless people coming out in the back shot. Law enforcement has no other choice but to make sure that the homeless people don't interrupt or interfere with what's going on in Hollywood. But again, as I keep mentioning, these are people that could be helped, and it's a situation that could get better if we have the right person in charge, and if it's a topic and situation that could be talked about more and dealt with way better. I was actually surprised by this one right here. I actually didn't know there were way more homeless people within neighborhoods. Just imagine the amount of money it costs just to live near Hollywood Boulevard. If you take a look here, there's actually like a modern built apartment. God knows how much it costs to live there, possibly around 3 to 5K a month. And this is the type of view that you get once you get out of your apartment. Homeless people living right a few steps down your block. By the way, as I was filming these clips, I decided to take a quick trip near the University of LA, UCLA specifically, near Beverly Hills. That's really nearby Beverly Hills. If you know, UCLA is one of the top universities in California. And shockingly enough, I was able to find a homeless tent near UCLA. More specifically, this was near the Copa de Oro Road Street. Alright, so this here is going to be our final stop. This specific location right here is the Los Angeles National Veterans Park, right between San Vicente Boulevard and Wilshire Boulevard. But we see this guy right here in the corner of the park. Pretty sure he's a veteran, but his sign says, "Stop the VA land fraud." And I'll get to what he means by that sign in a sec. For those of you that have kept up with the channel for a while now, you will know that I actually did a video here some time ago. But on this specific sidewalk right here, it was filled with homeless veterans. And as you guys can see, inside of their own park, they have built them tiny homes for them to live in. I will insert a clip on how it was before these homeless veterans got their little homes inside of their own park. So again, they're not on the sidewalk anymore. You couldn't even walk on their side, believe me. And this is just a weird sight if you think about it, because this is not a park that you can actually enjoy being in, or let alone seeing. Do they actually deserve a life and living like this after they put their lives on the line for this country? That's a lot to think about and a lot to take in. So that's partly of what the guy was referring to with his poster. This is just another look from the other side of the street. If you think about it, it's something that has quote unquote changed. And I say the word change in quotations because it's not necessarily something that has changed for the better. So this is what I mean by things really haven't changed for the better. Right on the park's gate, we have this banner that says Veteran Temporary Housing Hotline. Keyword temporary. Quote, if you are an unhoused veteran, call this number to get a temporary housing as a first step towards your own subsidized apartment. Again, keyword temporary. So although you see all these veterans have their own little homes, it's not a forever thing either. They would apparently have to move out during some time. If you look at the clip on how it was before, the amount of homeless people that there were isn't enough to fit them inside of this park. A lot of them went out and just moved to another location technically. Either they couldn't apply themselves, or they simply know that they deserve something better than this lifestyle. After putting their life on the line for this country, it is something that's simply unfair for them. This is one of the situations that we are living in right now. These are just clips that I wanted to share with you guys, not only for the people that already live in California and LA, but for other states and other countries to see on what it's like to live here in LA under these circumstances. Really tough and sad situation that we are still living in today in 2023. When will something actually be done about this? Who knows when that will be? But again, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thank you guys for sticking around till the end of this video. Shout out to everybody who subscribed to the channel and keeping up with my content. But with all that said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.